dear aspirants, welcome to today's episode. So today we are going to discuss of how to speak effectively in the language called English. And it's been a while. I think it's been like 7 or 8 months that I'm getting lots of requests for this particular video. And the thing is that I've already made a video on how to speak in English fluently, but the language that I used was in Malayalam. That is my native language. But I think with all these demands and requests, I should make a video in English. That is how to speak fluently and effectively and be a better communicator in English language. So I would like to start on with the video by saying that English is no rocket science. I mean, it's just like any other language, and with correct amount of perseverance, practice and our hard work, we can learn English and even be a better communicator in this language. And I just want to say that we were under these colonies of these British imperials for these long period of time, but that doesn't mean that even after many generations, and we have no reason to feel inferior just because our English language or just because a language which is not our mother tongue is not that good enough. This has nothing to do with our intelligence, and this has nothing to do with our personality whatsoever. But I thought I'll just give you this video. If you want this to learn, or if you want a new language to be taught, if that is it, then I could help you with that. And for the civil service aspirant, I would like to add on a point is that your examinations could be written in any language that you want. That is Bengali, Assami, Odia, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, whichever language that you want. And even for your personality test or the interview part, you could attend the interview in your own mother tongue or your mother language, and there is no restriction that you have to do the examinations in English language as such. And moreover, the other reason why I am insisting on taking this video is that most of the resources or most of these books and the soft copies and hard copies that are being available are in the language of English or in the medium of English. So for the better understanding of it, and especially for reading the current affairs, that is the Hindu, so for that reason I think it will be beneficial for us to learn an extra additional language. So let's get on with it now itself. So tip number 1, that is read and read out loud. You must have heard all these tongue twisters and all. So learning a new language is something similar to all these tongue twisters. You have to roll it in your mouth. For that reason, you have to read out loud. I'm not asking you to get all these standardized textbooks and all. Just read out whatever that you see. You could see a billboard on the sidewalk, or you could see a newspaper and then reading out loud. So whatever initially whatever that you're reading out, just read out loud. Try to roll it in your tongue, or you could just repeat the sentence again. You feel that your pronunciation is very much lacking in. So that is the first step, that is read and read out loud. And the second tip is that watching all these videos in YouTube videos or Netflix or Prime, whatever. I think we are like hogging all these Netflix and Prime videos, especially since we were under the lockdown restrictions and all. So try to watch all these English language programs, but with the subtitles. That is, when you watch all these English programs, it's actually you're using two senses. You're reading it as well as you're hearing it. So you're actually engaging yourself by watching all these programs and all. So if you're watching all these programs and all, you could just rewind and try to pronounce all these words, try to imitate the accent that they're using. So that will also help you very much. So the next additional method or additional tip that I would like to add on is that try to watch all these news in English language. That is, this method is no way eliminating the method called reading current affairs. That is a Hindu newspaper. You have to read Hindu newspaper, and I think I'll have to put that in a box. You have to read Hindu newspaper. I'm just saying that additional to that, when you're watching any news channels, try to watch that in English language. And when you're watching it, especially because all these natives are speaking in the English language, it will be easier for you to relate in the English language. So till now we discussed all these passive methods to learn English, but the next one is actually an active one. And essentially an active method is actually conversing with someone, trying to have a conversation with someone. But even I was pretty much shy at the beginning when I started talking and all. So one method you could do is either speaking by seeing yourself on the mirror, or the next method is playing the game called Jam. Jam is just a minute, and I used to play this in school, and my teachers used to make us play all these games. Jam is basically they'll give you these random words, and they have no meaning to it. They'll just give you random words and they'll ask you to talk about it in 1 minute. And the only rule that is being given to it, that you cannot fumble, you cannot stammer. And the next rule is that you cannot repeat the same sentence. But it doesn't mean that just because you don't have any points or you are totally run out of the points, no issues, you could just speak on anything. For example, right now when I'm looking at the camera, I see camera, okay, I start speaking. Okay, the camera in front of me is black in color, it has a tripod stand, and the lens is actually peeping at me, and right now I don't know what to speak to, and I don't have any sentences, or I don't know what sentence to add on it. See, right now I'm not making much sense, but that's okay, because that's how the game should be played at. So this was just a demo of how to play this game called Jam, and I saw this camera in front of me and I just started talking about it, and it wasn't pre-made, or I didn't phrase a sentence up in my head and started speaking about it. And you could do the same thing. That is, for example, if you're just seeing the wall, okay, I saw the clock in front of me, I could start speaking about it. So I see a switchboard, so I could start talking about it, and there I saw a bottle, so I could start talking about it. So whatever that you see in front of you, just start talking about it, and do not phrase a sentence, do not frame the sentence up in your head and then start speaking about it. You could, even if it doesn't make any sense, totally gibberish, it's okay. All that matters is your fluency. And yes, the first time that you're going to speak, you're going to make lots and lots of mistakes, and it's totally inevitable, because that's how it is going to be. For example, even in your civil service preparations, you must have noticed that we are no experts in it. Nobody is an expert. Even the top ranker is not an expert. It takes a while, it takes some time for us to get into it, to know ourselves better, to actually go there and be engaging yourself. Same way over here. For example, this language that we are learning, it's totally alien or totally foreign from our mother tongue. So obviously it's going to take time, and we are going to make lots of mistakes. So just be patient with yourself, do not lose hope. So we're going to get to the next step. So the next step is actually a bit more intensive. That is, you have to actively engage yourself in another level. That is, for example, you read your Hindi newspaper, and this is as per your civil service preparations, this will also add on to your expertise. That is, whenever you read a piece of paragraph in your Hindi newspaper, you could do is you could paraphrase essays that you read, or you could paraphrase the news article that you read. Or for example, in the Jarkoli case, you found it's been few days that you've been reading the same news and follow up news and all. So you could just, with the information that you have up in your head, you could write an essay, and it's okay if it doesn't make any sense. We have plenty of time. I mean, our prelims in June, and the next mains examinations on September. So if you're ready to give in the extra hours, and if you're ready with all this perseverance, we can surely cross the bridge over that. And another and the final tip that I would like to add on is that whenever you find an important phrases or some sounding words and all, do one thing, just write it down. But do not just write the word or the phrases as such. Write down with examples, sentences or phrases which will help you. And next time that you write an essay, or the next time that you write any paragraph or in précis writing, try to inculcate all these words and phrases into it. And also, when you're doing these jam exercises, you could also add on these words into your vocabulary. So this will add up so much to your help. And I like to conclude this video by saying that your pace and your speed will not determine how fluent or how good you are in the language. That is, for some people, they are accustomed to speak in faster pace, or in some people they are slow speakers. So it has nothing to do with fluency. You are fluent when the other person can understand you, and that is what your fluency is. Just because your speed is not good enough, or you are taking lots of time to converse sentence, it doesn't mean that you are not fluent in the language. You are fluent when the other person, when the receiving end of the communication loop can understand your language and is comfortable enough to speak back to you. So that's how you be a better speaker in the language called English. So that's all for today's video. So if you have any doubts or any queries regarding the same, you could just drop that in the comment section, or you could just WhatsApp me. And like again, just give yourselves a chance, that you deserve, and all the best. You can surely secure it. And don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share the video and like the video. So bye all.